Hey, this is Glendon with Making Money with Storage Unit Auctions, and this is a trip. Jack Daniels, porn, cigarettes, and let me breathe on the mic. This is one of the reasons I think I became addicted to buying trash rooms. When I first came out to the storage auction trail, I got my ass toasted and handed to me because I didn't know the lay of the land. There were people out there that looked like deliverance folks, and it was like, ha ha, I could get over on these people. Little did I know that some of them were carrying $5,000 to $30,000 cash in their pocket on any given day. Well, you know the story. You go out there, you try to buy some units, and it doesn't really work out. So I was pretty much regulated to trash rooms. But all trash rooms are not created equal. I remember the day I got the unit in the Point, East Point, and the whales and the big spenders were around, and nice room after nice room that I wanted I couldn't get, and I was feeling kind of defeated, but I was like, you know what, I'm out here, I'm gonna get something. So this little hallway room opens up. There's a bottle of Jack Daniels that's half full right at the door, a trash bag, some boxes, and a suitcase with steel tipped edges, and a few other things. I just walked by and I was like, at least I can get a drink, and everybody like just start cracking up, ha ha ha, and I bid $1. And it's just a trash room, and just when someone else was getting ready to bid me up, Rodney the Roach came coming out, and they're like, oh, you can have it. Going once, going twice, sold. And at that point I was like, damn. I knew there were roaches in units at that point, but I didn't know how bad they can get. Go ahead, lock it up, go back up to pay, then I come back. Because like I said, it's a room with little or nothing, not a lot of stuff. And I go back and there's the Jack Daniels, and I twist off the cap, and it's real Jack Daniels. Then luckily I found an unopened bottle in the back. Well, unit's not spectacular. It's not spectacular because I open up one box, it's nothing but porn magazines. Total porn magazines. And I'm flipping, I'm going to flip through the porn because, they're chicks, right? So I'm flipping through the porn. And then whenever you get a unit of a smoker, everything has that smell. That smoky smell. It's like all over the place. And I was like, well, maybe I could sell the porn. Keep the Jack Daniels. Give the other Jack Daniels to someone as a favor or something. So I'm like loading stuff up. I got my trash bags, and there's clearly trash. There's old clothes. There's underwear. There's stained underwear and stuff. Be sure to wear gloves. And I'm just putting that stuff in there. And, there's the suitcase. Then I'm cleaning out the unit. And this is immediately after the auction. At this point, I'm like still green. I don't know the lay of the land. And then one of the regulars comes by and he sees the case and he says, how much for the case, buddy? And after I had been through the unit, I'm like, that's the best thing in the room. I'm not selling you the case. I didn't even think about it. I didn't even look at it. He's like, sure, you don't want to sell it, buddy? You don't want... No. And I loaded up the unit, and I know he was just kind of hanging around and everything, so I grabbed the case, and the case had a little weight to it. Put it in my car and everything, and he's just like, you sure you don't want to sell that case? I mean, he is like on me. And I'm like, no, I'm not selling the case. It's $1 for the unit. Why am I going to because see, that's where many storage auction buyers go wrong, because they get got like that. Well, I'm going through the unit later on at home because, like I said, I literally got this stuff in the trunk of my car. It was not much. Didn't open up the case. I was kind of defeated. Threw away some trash before leaving the storage facility. You weren't supposed to do it, but I was just like, shoot, it was in there. Get home. I'm just playing around. Then I find a box of unopened cigarettes, a carton of cigarettes. I'm like, okay, maybe, I don't know what I can do with this. And I finally get to the case, and it's a nice case, and I open it up, and there's this microphone in it, and there's this, in another box, there's this thing that goes to the microphone, and some other stuff. And I'm just like, I'm thinking, hey, I get a few bucks here. Because, the microphone, I picked it up, had some weight to it, solid construction and everything. So, I'm in my basement just like playing around. Because, you get a mic, you want to play around. So I'm playing around. Then I actually put the mic on the table. Then I sat down and I looked up the mic. And I almost fell out my fucking chair. This mic was a Neumann U47. In great condition. With all the little stuff. At the time, I pulled up one and one recently sold on eBay for 10 grand. And my fingers were shaking because when you get something like that and you look it up, usually it's not the exact item that went for that level of money. It's like something kind of close, but no cigar. But it was the exact mic with other stuff. And I was like, hold on. And I looked at it again, and I sat down and I calmed down. And I looked at it again, and I sat down and I calmed down. I was like, is this real? Is this real? And once again, I was green. So I went to a local music shop, and I took everything in there. And I took it out, and I put it on the table. And the guy was like, instantly, so you want to sell it? I mean, he didn't even he's like, you want to, I was like, I want to know how much it's worth, and I actually want to know if it works. And the guy was like, well, we charge this. And I was like, dude, I already know how much it could be worth if it works. And he's like, oh. And yeah, I looked it up. That's why, on the shows, I'm like, they come in there just completely blown away. Anytime I've taken something to someone else, I absolutely had no clue. I had a clue to what the estimated value would be. But anywho, so the guy's like, oh, yeah, these are pretty rare. A lot of people love them because of the sound quality. You get that old vintage style, that big sound. And he said, I will, let's hook it up. So, dude had a studio there. We hooked up everything, put the amps, and he could sing. And he got on the mic, and the thing was flawless. There was no artifacts. There was nothing. It was flawless. And he just was like, whoa. It's like professional singers love these type of mics because they give me like a little lesson. So a lot of times when you hear bad music, sometimes it's the equipment and not the singer. And he said great equipment can make a bad singer sound even better than they really are. But this stuff is pure. So, it's tested out and everything. I was just, wow. So you know what I did? I ran home and I put it on eBay. And then they were coming at me. Hey, I'll give you $1,000 for it right now. I'll give you $2 grand for it right now. I was like, ignore. Put it up for a 7-day auction. First day, it got up to $4 grand. Second day, it got up to 8. Then it kind of slowed down a little bit, just a little bit. Then I got a guy from Germany. I'll give you $12,000 for it. Everything, and pay for the shipping. I was getting ready to do it because we were shipping internationally, hadn't had any issues. And then before I could make the deal, because he was a bidder. Someone else from the United States of America. Someone else who was real close. He was in Florida. He's like, I'll give you 14. And I'm just like, really? And I looked at the mic and everything. And I was like, what the hell? I mean, because I expected 8 to 10 because of, the previous sale. Just because something goes high on eBay once doesn't mean it's going to go high again. And dude was like, I'm bidding. These guys duking it out. And I did not end the auction because, for one, I know it's probably even worse now. Even in auctions, people get weird. They think something's going on. And I was like, bam, I'm going to let it ride. You're bidding, so we'll see. So, set everything up on Sunday. It's Sunday, 7 p.m. There's 2 minutes for the auction. The mic is at $9,500. And my little hands are rubbing together. Clicks down. Last 30 seconds. Jumps up. 11,000, 12,000, 13,000, boom, 14,500. the dude in Florida. He wins it. I get an email from him immediately because he didn't pay. He says, I want to come get it. I can come tomorrow. I'm getting in my car right now and I'm heading to Georgia with cash. Would you meet me at such and such place? And I was like, back then it was MapQuest, and you had, Google was a little different. Actually, Google was better in some regards because you would get like additional information. And it was a studio here in Atlanta. And that's like, okay, it makes sense. You're spending that type of money. You want to make sure it works without a shadow of a doubt. No problem. Email him back. He sent me his phone number and everything. I emailed him back. I said, no problem. What time are you going to be there? He said, between such and such time and such and such time. So I go down there. Me being me, I'm strapped because I know I have something very valuable and something that someone would want to knock me across the head. So I get to the studio and I walk in and I'm like, hey, I'm Glendon. And oh yeah, we're expecting you. We want you to go here. And then this little lady comes out and it's like, yeah. And she's like, may I see the mic? And I was like, sure. Then she's like going to take the mic and try to like disappear. I was like, no, me and the mic, we will never part ways until the cash crosses my palm. She said, I understand. Follow me. And, we're cool. So goes up there. She sets up the thing and everything. Then I get a phone. Then she gets a phone call. Dude's like on his way. Within the minutes, he's there. And he's excited. And he is like this rocker dude. Just total, hair down to the middle of his back. Tatted up. Painted fingernails. And he goes in there and he looks at the mic. And he's like, wow, it's in great condition. I said, yeah. And it works too. So go ahead. Do your thing. So I sit outside and he's in the studio and they do their thing and they're just like, people are blown away. And then I'm like, there are people in the studio. It's like, well, I've never got to use that mic. I was like, really? These things are rare. And if you find one, they're a grip. Even today, even with the recession and depression of prices, they're still a grip. And especially if they have certain components, because you can modify a mic like you can trick out a mic. I got like this huge lesson. And dude, finished up, they did his thing, did the track, did the playback. He was like, it's the truth, it's the truth. He was like, bam. So we're sitting there talking. He said, oh yeah, I guess I need to pay you. So he goes and pulls out a wad of cash, thrusts it in my hands. There you go, brother. And I counted it. It's 15 G's. He said, don't worry about it. I'm like, I love trash units. All right. So I'm sitting there with the money and everything. And we sit there and we just chill a little bit. Then, we part ways. He's got his mic and everything. Gives me great feedback. And I'm just sitting there. I felt dejected that I bought this room. I felt, and that's why, since 2009, I've been telling you, I always bought trash rooms. I never passed up an opportunity to buy a trash room unless it was just clear, where you could just literally see everything. Because that $1 room yielded me 15 grand, some porn, some cigarettes, and some Jack Daniels. And it was the black label Jack Daniels. It was the good stuff. So I had my $15,000. I went back home and I unscrewed the top off the bottle, poured myself a drink, and just put my feet up on the desk and just sat there and like, I love storage auctions. I love storage auctions. And was hooked from that point on. And that was after going through a lot of pain, misery, being ran up. Because the thing is, for many of you who are new to the game, understand there are many big hits out there, and 99.99.99% of the buyers who come across this great stuff will never, ever come on YouTube and tell you about it. They will never allow a news reporter to put a mic under their nose to talk to about it, because it's no one's business but yours. The only reason that this channel exists and I'm talking about it is I'm out the business. If I was still in the business, there's no way in hell I would be telling you about this stuff, because it makes you a target. If I was on this YouTube channel, And I was out there still buying units. Any room that I keyed in on, people would key in on me because it's like, well, he wrote a book, he's got a YouTube channel, he must know something. And they would be right. And every freaking room that I would attempt to buy would be through the roof. But, that's just me. But like I said, the only reason I'm telling you this is because I'm out the game. And like I said, there's a lot more stories. There's many things I've never talked about. So stay tuned, and I'll see you in the next video.